Cougars. Okay, today we are going to be multiplying decimals. Not just one decimal, but two. Two decimals. I know, it's going to be super duper crazy. Okay, so yesterday we had a decimal number multiplied by a whole number, or a whole number multiplied by a decimal number. But today we are doing a decimal by a decimal. I know. Fasten those seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy, hoppy ride. Here we go. Are you ready? Our essential question today is, why do we move the decimal point when multiplying decimals? Why? Why do we have to move this thing? What's the point? We're going to find that out today. But first, what we're going to do is we are going to start with a problem and see what happens when we have two decimals, because that's just so weird. Why would you need two decimals? Oh, maybe like money. Maybe I'm multiplying my money by my money. We don't know. Okay, let's look at it. Okay, so let's look at example A. Example A says, I have 7 2/10 times 4 8/10. So I have 7 2/10 times 4 8/10. It's really tense in here. I know. Crazy, right? Just kidding. Okay, so we're going to first look at these two problems, and we're going to write them as a stack because it's too weird to write it and try to multiply like this. So let's stack it up. All right, so we're going to stack it up. So I'm going to put 7 2/10 on top of 4 8/10. Again, you can write your tenths however you want. You can, your numbers. We always say put the longer number on top, but there isn't a longer number here. You can move these around because commutative property says we can move multiplication. And we can if we want. But we don't really need to. 7 is bigger than 4, so that one can go on top. All right. So my first step here is to find out how many places to move my decimal. So just like yesterday, I want to figure out how many decimal spots there are. So here there is one decimal spot, or 1/10 of a spot. So one spot. Here there is one spot. Look at that. I have a spot here and I have a spot there, which means that I have a total of 2 spots, or 2 decimal places. Okay, this problem is really messy right now, and I've moved my decimal points out. So I'm going to rewrite this problem as whole numbers, because whole numbers are so much easier to multiply than ignoring that decimal. If you want to ignore the decimals, go for it. But we have to put the decimal back in there anyways, so I'm just going to rewrite it without the decimal points, because for me, my brain can't handle that. So now I'm ready to multiply. So I know 8 times 2 is 16, and I'm going to carry the 1. And I know 8 times 7. Okay, so let me think about this for a second. I know 8 times 5 is 40. And so 8 times 6 is 48, because I just add 8 more. Which means that if I add 8 more to get to my 7, because I have struggles with this one. So 8 times 7, so 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 56. Oh, I knew that one. Okay, 56 plus 1, 57. Okay, 57. Did you see what I did there? If I struggle with my multiplication, I can go to the nearest one that I know and then count groups of, or count on from there. Easy trick. right? Give yourself tricks in math. Okay, now I need a placeholder. I need a placeholder of a 0 here because this 4 does not really mean 4. It means 40. This 8 is gone. It's like having a 40 here. This is like saying 40 times 2. Well, 40 times 2 is 80. So if I put this 8 here, oh, I have 80. 4 times 2 is 8, or 40 times 2 is really 80. Okay. So let's do 4 times 7. Well, 4 times 7 is 28. So now I have 28. Or if I had 40 times 7, I had 2,800, right? So that's why we keep that 0 there as a placeholder. Okay, now I'm going to add all of these things up. 6 plus 0 is 6. 7 plus 8 is 15, carry my 1, 8 and 5, 5 and 8, yeah, that's what I'm doing. So 5, 10, 13, 14, so I have 14, carry my 1, and I have 3. So really right here, I have 3,456. Oh my goodness. That is a really big number, and that is not correct. That's not correct because we remember from yesterday that decimals mean fractions. And I don't have any decimals in this problem because I took them out. So I need to put them back in. So remember, I had 1/10, 2/10, which equals really 100th, right? If I was multiplying 10 times 10, that's like 100, right? Or a 10th times a 10th is 100th. So I need to move my decimal point in 2 spots to the 100th place. So I'm going to jump 1 spot, 2 spot, and there I go. So my answer here is 34 and 56 hundredths because these 2 spots right here go here. 2 spots. 2 spots. I need to move it, move it. I need to move it, move it. Right? Okay, so that's why we move our decimal point, because these are like fractions. And this tells us tenths, hundredths. Tenths, hundredths. Okay, so let's come back here. Let's do letter B. All right, letter B, example B. All right, I have 3.1 times 0.005. Okay, so this problem here, lots of zeros. Again, you don't need this 0 out front if you don't want it, because it's just kind of like a placeholder for the holes, but we can put it there if we want to, so that way we don't forget to keep it, okay? Because we're going to end up rewriting this problem over here without a decimal. Okay, and it might look funny when we rewrite it without a decimal. Well, and this one we don't really actually even have to rewrite it without a decimal. I don't know, your choice. You do it how you want to do it. Okay, so let's rewrite it. Longer number on top. So longer number on top, 0.005. That one's longer. 3.1, so I'm going to put 3.1. Okay, now they're stacked correctly. We stack them like this, and now it's weird because there's so many decimal points and it's driving me nuts. I need to get rid of my decimal points. Okay, ready? Let's get rid of those. Move them. I like to move it, move it, move it, and I moved it 3 spots here. Oh my goodness. And here I only like to move it once. One spot. Oh, for a grand total of 4 spots. Okay, I'm going to rewrite this now because it's super messy and we don't want mess. So over here, I'm going to rewrite this problem. I had 0, 0, 0, 5 times 31. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's multiply. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's multiply. All right, so 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. And 1 times 0 is 0. All right, let's put the placeholder here because this is really like saying multiplying by 30. Okay, 3 times 5 is 15. Carry my 1. 3 times 0 is 0 plus 1 gives me 1. And 3 times 0 is 0. And 3 times 0 is 0. Alrighty. Now I'm going to add. This is a weird problem. Look at all those zeros. Alright. 5, 5, 1, 0, and 0. Okay, now I need to put some decimals back in. And I had tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths. That's super tiny. We went so far away from 0, like, because we're like breaking that fraction down so small. Okay, are you ready? So let's move 4 spots. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at it. It's right there. Okay, so we're going to rewrite this problem now. And this really equals. So we moved 4 spots. Okay, so we have 0.0155. U or 155 10,000ths, which is super teeny tiny. It's so far away from 0. It's a tiny little fraction. Okay, you can write it like this without that 0 in front if you want because you don't need it. It's just a placeholder. All right, it's your turn to do a try it. Okay, ready? Try it. All right, we have 8 1/10 times 5 6/10. That's try it number 1. And try it number 2. Which one do I want you to do? Okay, try it number 2 is 2 7/10. Try it number 2. Says 2 7/10 times 9 4/10. All right, go ahead and start your multiplication. Remember, hit pause so you don't hear me doing my multiplication, and then come back and check your answers. All right, so I'm going to rewrite both of these without decimals. Remember that, no decimals. So you got to chuck those decimals. 5.6, get rid of the decimals. All right, so I moved it out once, and I moved it out once. So 1 spot. 1 spot, which tells me 2 spots or 200. So now I'm going to rewrite this as 81 and 56. But I remember it's not really 81 and 56. Okay, 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 8. Ooh, I remember because 8 times 5 is 40. Add 8 more is 48. That gives me 48. Now I'm going to put a placeholder. 5 times 1 is 5. And there we go. There's my 40. I've been waiting for that 40. 6, And 8 and 5 is 13. Carry the 1. 4 and 5 and 4. Okay, now I need to put my decimal point back in. 2 places. So I'm going to move 2 spots. 1, 2. There we go. 45.36 is my answer. How did you do? 45.36. Check it, check it, check it. Okay, next one. Okay, again, I have 2.7 and 9.04. And I did not write these correctly. I should have stacked my bigger number on top. And I will do that when I move my decimal point. 2 spots. 1 spot. For a grand total of 3 spots. Okay. Now, I'm going to switch colors because this is getting a little bit tricky over here. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this with the longer number on top. 904 times 27. Goodness. Okay, 7 times 4 is 28. Carry my 2. 7 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. 9 times 7. Oh my gosh. Oh, I know my 9s trick. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the 7s, to the 7 spot. So I have here, and I'm just going to hold down 7. So there's 7, and I get 63. So I'm going to write down 63. Okay, there we go. 8 and 0, that should have been crossed out, and that should be 18. Okay, now I'm ready to add. 8, 9, 10, carry my 1, that's a 4. 8 and 6. Oh, 8 and 6. Okay, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And the 1, 24. Okay, so I've got 24,408. Nope, that's not right. Oh, I forgot to put my decimal in. And I have 3 spots because I had 3 spots over here. 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to put my decimal here because 1, 2, 3. I like to move it, move it, move it. 3 spots. And there we go. How did you do? All right, you guys, it is time to answer your essential question off to the side. Why do we move the decimal point when we're multiplying decimals? Why? Why do we do that? What's the point of that? Get it? Decimal point? What's the point? Okay, and in your little box there, I want you to tell me, where are you at with your learning? How are you feeling about this? 1, I was okay yesterday when we were just doing 1 number, but now we have 2. I'm so confused with 2 decimal points. 2, I'm okay, I just need more practice. Or 3, I totally get it. Just throw the decimal points away, multiply, and then put them back in. Where are you at with your learning? If you need more help, come back to the Google Meet, Ask Miss Englander. That's me. And I would be happy to help you. All right, everybody, have an awesome, awesome day. And as always, make it a great day the Cougar way.